Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Baddie Overwatch League Week 8. I'm AJS0, and I am here with my wonderful co-star Cal, who just carried the shit out of me. Cal,
I
let's
wouldn't
get
say
some
that.
Overwatch.
But yeah, let's get some Overwatch. Let's get into the first map here. Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, we got all dabs, no blabs, going up against 3 Dans, 1 Cup, and this feels like the last opportunity for 3 Dans, 1 Cup. After, the first 2 weeks, they start the season 6-0. It has been very rough waters since then, as this team has only racked up 3.5 points over the ensuing 6 weeks. And they are currently sitting at 9.5 points. That's 9 wins, 11 losses, 1 draw, to all dab, no blabs, 11 points. So if 3 Dans, 1 Cup win this match, they still kind of have their shot at making a top 3 seed. If they lose here, then, they're, depending on how hard they lose, casting couch is right on their heels.
And maybe that's what we're rooting for, but
I would love to see all dabs, no blab take the 3-0 here. Give us a shot at a 4 seed.
But no bias, of course. But
Full bias. I don't even know if the 4 seed gets an advantage. I know we changed some things around for the season. I don't remember that, but we are ready to roll here as we've got a brand new pick, Heron 911 on Sombra.
I mean, I really love Sombra on defense here. She's just super good at controlling the map. But one thing she's not very good at is controlling Widowmaker, and Freefy gonna be on it this time.
Yeah, they got Sword Mace in the lineup one of the few times this season. He's going to be playing Doomfist, the second DPS, but Freefy is already down. A lot of people being traded in both directions as these teams are making their way towards the point, but I think the Blabs are going to be on the trio. Sword Mace trying to do work and maybe succeeding. He finds the Hanzo. He's kind of bouncing around, and these health bars are all going low for the 3 Dans.
It looks like they just won most of the skirmishes because, oh no, Heron didn't make it.
Well, when somebody asks why we only let you play fire, that's the clip they're going to be showing you, my friends. Embarrassing, but at least Heron does basically have that EMP for this next fight, which is obviously the most important reason to pick the Sombra.
And she really shines here because she can hack this bottom health pack, which you just saw. But Freefy picks up Dirty Dan immediately. This could be huge. As their entry, they don't have a mercy.
We're going to need to see a big EMP out of Heron here to save this first round of Anubis. As Josh Danko's...
Here it is.
Maybe it's mid. There you go. EMP hits everyone out when they're all purple. Dan with the huge grenade at the same time. And that is an easy fight for the Dans.
Right there is why you picked the Sombra. She is so good at stopping them because the offense can't do anything but walk into you. So the EMP is just huge at getting a one fight, and props to Dano also for getting a really good purple to start it off.
Yeah, it's a very good follow up there, and that gives his team some opportunity to get some of their ults going here. As now, Heron does get picked early though, but we do have both support ults and Cruz with the hammer down available. But on the other side, your Pendry leading in with this D.Va ult, not gonna find anything. There's another big purple that comes on the Dano 22. Zedekius, he's gonna pop the Transcendence, does not save Cruz, but he is saving what remains of his team. As this is looking good for 3 Dans, 1 Cup. They've gotten a lot of kills, they've gotten a lot of health bars low, and they're gonna mop this one up.
Yep, and important to know that if they keep playing this skirmish style that they did on first point, it didn't work out for them there because the offense obviously had just a couple more numbers and a better wins, but now the defensive spawns are so close that it will actually matter a lot more just to fight this weird skirmish style. And yeah, they're gonna have to start to regroup as D.Va did get a little bit reset from Heron.
We do have 2 big ults available here, Josh Danko and Dirty Dan. D.Va ult, not normally a big ult, but when it's Josh Danko, it is. And here we go. He wants to just delay this fight before it can even happen, and as always, finds a pick. Oh, Freefy kind of caught out no man's land. He's going to get picked off too.
Last time they ran Sword and Mace, when they ran him on the Doomfist, they had Freefy playing a second support. He usually played the Brig, but this time they're going to have Senpai, normally their hit scan player, playing the Ana. Suppose it makes sense, but it's not. I don't think it's optimal.
Ooh, Heron dies with the EMP available, and this is maybe one of the best opportunities that all dabs no blab are going to get. They need to rush this point now, and out of for to get picked there. And now this is bad once again. Gigantic purple comes out of Dano, and it turns into an easy team fight mop for 3D1C.
Yeah. If there was any support who can just solo carry a single team fight, I think it's Dano's Ana. His purples just are insane.
Yeah, they absolutely have been. I know Checkers gets all the hype, but I think Dano is in the running for the best support this season. He has been one of the few shining stars for his team. And it's been every week. I mean, every single team fight, he's fighting 3 people with these grenades. That just, it wins you fights. But here we go, fight coming through, and they're going to lead. Dirty Dan finds a nice dragon from the side, and now it is a 6v4 in favor of the Dans, as everyone is kind of getting into the side room fuck zone here, looking to finish everyone off, and yeah, they will be able to.
But what you gotta look for next fight is the fact that the offense has still 6 ultimates. But to note, Zed still does have his Transcendence, so there's a lot of counterplay for both sides.
Yeah, they have 6 ults, but there's still 4 available for 3D1C. And they have that trans that can counter a lot. They also have that EMP, as it looks like sort of
immediately.
Yeah,
and
that is not good.
It might have been a mispick, but here
There
it goes.
EMP comes through and counters the Lucio ult immediately. And now once again, 3Dance 1 Cup are shredding through the ADNB Hellfires. Everyone is solo, they're taking no damage themselves.
And Sword gets run down by Josh. This is unfortunate for them. Just Sword and Wolf both pretty much wasted their ultis there.
Yeah, Wolf needs to swap off of this Lucio. Lucio just not a good pick into the Sombra. EMP literally negates the sound barrier, as we just saw there. And now 6 ult advantage gone in the blink of an eye for nothing. As all devs no blab, they're just not able to get the setups they want here. And here we go, once again. Dan finds a big one.
Look at
There's
this
a
dragon!
big dragon.
Oh. Goodbye. Another reset for the offense, as they haven't been able to press their Q buttons.
They've had 4 ults for like 3 minutes now.
Yep, and now your Pendrive is gonna get staggered out. Or he's just gonna D.Va, he needs to die. Ooh. They're gonna leave him, smart. And now Cruise Master has his ulti back, Heron's almost back to his. I mean, this is just disastrous for the offense.
Yeah, there we go. Oh my
There's
god, they
the
get the
live
pick.
stagger.
The D-back paid off. Oh, there we go. Looks like they're gonna go forward. Cruise with the slam. Look at this. They're committing 1 ult every fight, and they're winning these fights as blowouts.
Yep, and they're just getting even worse staggered. I think there's gonna be a total of like 2 more fights. And once again, the offense is almost up to 5 ultimates, with Sword being the only one at 50. And they just need to start something. Freefee's gonna swap to Reaper. Traditionally a pretty good pick into Sombra, so see if you can find anything. The Doomfist definitely getting countered by Heron Sombra. And Heron's gonna ulti again.
Oh god, they're going deep. They drop the EMP, Josh. They go drop
And it's gone.
and it finds everyone. 3 down to that.
And now they just gotta reset completely. The Mighty Wolf.
They're gonna get staggered here. Maybe, as Heron's really playing this deep. He's not under any danger himself, but he's got a whole team there to back him up. And here we go, 50 seconds remaining. The last opportunity. Can all dabs, no blab, press Q. Everyone, look at your fucking keyboard. You see that? It's right there above the A key. To the left of the W key. Can they press it? Can they press it?
They did.
There's
1 Q. There's 2 Q.
Q's, but they still haven't found anyone. Here we go, Dirty Dan looking for another big dragon. Both the healers are down for 3Dance 1 Cup, though they've lost Cruise Master as well. And this could finally be it. There are still 2 ults available here for the offenses. They've gotten a tick, and this is ticking up fast. It's in 2. Zedekis with the Transcendence. He's gonna touch. He's buying a few seconds for his team, but he was not able to keep Heron alive there. He did buy some time for 3 to get though. And here we go, the Meteor Strike coming through. It does not find any kills. Your Pendrive. Oh, everyone ends up stepping off, even though they had a few alive.
Unfortunate is I think they could have won that if they'd stalled long enough, but really it was just them running at them, and I guess Zed didn't respect. I didn't see exactly how he died, but he died before he could get that Transcendence off, and that really cost him this last point. They'd even get it down to 0 seconds, so that means that all dabs will be able to attack yet again.
It is 2 CP, so they would always get that extra attack.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah,
but...
it's just on hybrid where the 0 matters.
And
So
payload, I assume?
Fortunately, well, in payload, if we were to ever see, or yeah, maybe it's just payload where it matters. It doesn't matter on 2CB. That's the one thing I'm sure of.
Okay.
But what does matter? Ultimates. And look at that.
Wow.
All dabs, no blab.
Qs.
They finally press all their Qs. They capture the point. It only took them 6 minutes to get there. Maybe these guys need to bring in a coach, some sort. You know, there's people out there you can pay them. They'll coach you. They'll probably say the exact same things I said, but more politely.
They might even like give you a magnifying glass, show you where the Q button is on your keyboard.
Yeah, maybe my directions were not clear enough. You know, I said above the A to the left of the W, but what's it below? It's below the 1 key. It's to the right of the tab. A good coach would have said it all up front.
Of course. And well, as they go forwards, they're gonna keep Sword Mace on the DPS. I wonder if Swords just like decided that he's only gonna play Doomfist for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I know he hasn't been able to start a whole lot of games this season for this team. I think he's had some scheduling conflicts. I'm not 100% sure, but honestly, Doomfist did not look good in that first round.
But what's weird here is they're having Senpai play the Brig and Freefy play the hit scan. I don't exactly know why. I think Senpai's a better hit scan player in general. Freefy is more of a projectile, but this is their decision, so.
Yeah, hey, Soldier 76 does have a projectile, so maybe we'll soon come up big with that. But the offense, 3D1C running, I think the exact same combo with Cruz swapped over to a Winston. As they are very awkwardly slow playing this around no shield before. Here we go, the tank's finally coming up. They are not going to be challenging that high ground, as this Brigida is going to just wreck Cruisemaster's day here in the front. Now Stormmace is going to come through. They should be able to get some good damage onto Josh Danko here, as the dabs are kind of establishing up onto this mid ground here. This should be an easy hold. They did lose Senpai, and they nearly lose Spagooter.
He will get rest, unfortunately. But the mech might, or never mind, the V-mech was on Josh.
Yeah, ooh, Heron gets staggered kind of late, but 3 Dance 1 Cup in a hard position to back out from. This is really weird. 3 Dance 1 Cup is like this long poke off, but they only have the Hanzo to really poke with.
Yeah, and they don't have anything to combo with this Hanzo ultimate, so it's not exactly going to be great compared to Freefy's Holder, whose tac visor matters a lot more. So,
yeah, but they have managed to establish onto this high ground left of the point, as they're now raining damage from above. They are jumping down, established on the high ground, but here we go. D-Vault's coming out. Can they find anyone as Zed has to pop Transcendence towards the point? Oh. This is looking good for 3 Dance 1 Cup. They're finding damage all over. They did lose their Hanzo, and I don't think it's going to matter. Is the Mighty Wolf trying to keep everyone alive, and that is way too tall of a task. And now Swordmace and Spagooter, the only 2 alive. Make that just Spagooter. And here we
your
go.
pen dry hiding.
Here we go.
It's D.Va in the back.
Here we go. Here we go. Point's gonna flip.
Yep. And they'll even know that D.Va has ultimate. This is.
What are they staggering? They know they can't cap until she dies, right?
Yeah, that's actually just a waste of time for them.
That was embarrassing.
Oh well, it works out for them. They do get the point, so this is a chance with 5 minutes.
That's like the opposite of like. We make fun of people for being monkeys and not staggering people enough. That is when you try too hard to think about Overwatch.
Yep.
And you're like, no, stay with the D.Va, stay with the D.Va, and you forget that you're on the point.
But what's important right here is Heron Sombra. If he can get a really good ulti here before Senpai can rally specifically.
Yeah, he is on this flank. He's setting up his team. Just waiting for him to pull the trigger.
Wait, where's Wolf?
Josh Dango's taking out there comes the EMP.
And they get Senpai.
Senpai down as well. There is no rally in this fight, but they need to find more, and the damage is coming through so slowly. Stormace does find Dano in the background. It's just turning into a very, very split skirmish. These spawns are going to be coming through momentarily, as actually a lot are dying for 3 Dance 1 Cup, and it's looking like they botched the engage.
Unfortunate, as Dano kind of got picked off by the Doomfist ulti. They just couldn't kill them all fast enough. It was still a pretty good engage, but just couldn't follow up on it enough, I guess. Sword getting that ulti on Dano probably was what secured it for them.
That was very huge.
Yeah, and now we're looking at a lot less ultis for the offenses. It'll just be Josh Denka's D.Va bomb, and Dano's Nano. Dano's Nano.
Yeah, they're coming up on a Transcendence, which could be big here, as Freefy is about to have the Death Blossom of his own. Randy sees Zed come up big with that one. As Freefy, he's gonna get the hell out of that one. It looks like the offense just about ready. Yep, they're gonna lead in. Josh Danko, first ult in. It's going to all be blocked by shields as Dano kind of leads the charge. Wants to get out of Cruise Master, but that's Zed with an awful transcendence. He's already lost 2. He's not transing any ults. And this is gonna be an easy push forward out of the Blabs.
Yep. Fortunate for them. Thankfully, they did save one ulti. They do have the Nano still. I think it was kind of a mistake, maybe a miscommunication from Cruz and Dano, because he jumped forwards immediately with the Diva Bomb, but when you send the Diva Bomb forward without and the Winston, then Winston just finds himself all alone, and without ulti, without Nano, he just gets blown up.
Yes, now we see 4 ults available for ADNB as Freefy is looking for the drop. He is being forced off that high ground by Josh Danko. Good awareness from the star. As we are closing in some ults now. DPS ults both about to be available for 3D1C. And this could be the play they were looking for. We saw some big dragons on defense. Can they find one more? Despite breaking out the side room, hammer being dropped. Freefy dropping the blossom, and Freefy finds the tanks.
Yep, that's another reset for the offense. They've got to get out of there.
And you go, that was one of those Death Blossoms that really took a few ticks to start finding the kills. A very easy Death Blossom to negate with Transcendence. And
Really
these are the kind of plays, and this is what we hound on people for when they pop Transcendence and it doesn't work. It's such a key ultimate in so many team fights.
Yeah. The worst part about it was I thought Cruise Master, he put his bubble right on top of it at a really good time, but they couldn't live through it.
But they still, regardless, have the EMP, have the Dragon available. So we'll see what they can force here. Is I have lost track of Heron. Yeah, he's not in super deep yet.
He's just staying right in front. They do use the ultis immediately. I don't think it was that effective.
Yeah, they're still saving the Dragon, looking for a big one, but Sword once again finds 2 with a big Meteor Strike as this is turning into a skirmish on the point. Their Dragon was never popped there, so they're going to be saving that for the next fight, it looks like.
Yeah, and they actually popped 3 ultis there between the Nano, Winston ulti, and the Sombra. At this point, I would swap out the Sombra. It doesn't feel like it's working. Something specific that Heron plays that would be really good here. Pharah is their
Yeah, hey!
Reaper.
Speaking of the devil, we've got the fire coming through. There will not be a Mercy, though, so we'll see what Heron can do on his own. But regardless, I do really like that pick. But this is going to be rough. They only have 1:20 to play. They're still far from that fire or that Cruise Master ults. As this Dragon, Ferdinand feels like he's been holding on to it for a while. You know, it's hard to get the Dragon off without a tank ult to combo it into. Meanwhile, a lot of ult charge available for ADNB here.
Yeah, Freefy gets knocked off the top again.
Josh doing such a good job of controlling that high grounds.
Yeah. They will have an advantage going into this. We'll have to see how they use it. They will use its Han's ult.
Everything being popped into the side room, but it's already 2 kills for 3Dance1 Cup as they're making their way towards the point where they no longer have any ults available. It took everything to get in, but it may be worth it as here we go. They found 4 kills now, making 5. They haven't lost anybody themselves, although Heron very low. Shouldn't matter. Your Pendry looking for the hero Diva ult, does not find anybody as it's just these stagger spawns coming through. They will get a few out of the point. They have picked off Daniel, but he did get off his ult first. Actually, Dirty Dan down as well. There's maybe a slight chance here. It's Freefy. Yes, that's awesome. Popping him, but he immediately gets popped himself, and that should do it. It is just Lucio buying time. Somebody doing a very good job buying time, but it's not going to be enough. And 3Dance1 Cup is going to be practically
but wait!
Maybe not yet.
As they're slowly staggering, but little by little, kill by kill, they don't have that big of an advantage anymore. It is looking like it's pretty over, though. It's just Lucio.
No, Dividing Wolf is back up there. He's buying more time. Oh my god, this could actually be happening. All Dabs and Blabs are getting a bunch of their spawns through. Can they find the picks? No, they've lost Spadooter. And now, Transcendence comes out of Zedekis. That's huge. That's going to give his team a chance to kind of reestablish their footing here. As a Diva ult's coming through. As, Jesus.
This is not
finish these people off, but it shouldn't matter. As that Diva does get pushed off. And finally, round 2 complete.
Yeah, and we'll see that, as you said, I assume the 2 CP rules will be a minute.
Both these teams will have a
for
minute
each.
and a minute 7, so 2 fights.
Yeah, it's really about if anyone can get even like a tick or the first point. The first point isn't usually that hard to take, but if you can just hold it 1, I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of a cheese pick. Even a May. Just to try out something different, maybe Freefy on Junkrat. We will see the Dans on the offense first.
Yeah, the Dans. We'll see if they're going to swap things up, as it took until a minute and a half remaining of their attack to make any substantial swaps. And it looks like they do want to change things up here, as they've got a 3 support with Dirty Dan solo DPS count being hovered right now. But on the defense, more of that Sword of Mace on the Doomfist. Freefy going to be playing the McCree here, as Senpai busting out Zenyatta for the first time.
Yeah. Would make sense for him to play that type of stuff.
This maybe not great picks into this 3 support comp. This could be pretty rough for ADNB.
I'd say only the Doomfist is really a good pick.
Yeah, Sword probably has to come up huge for these fights to go well. But we will see with Freefy and Senpai. Feels like there's always the outplay potential, as 3 Dans 1 Cup just rushing their way in, making their way out of the point. Now Sword of Mace has to go for the retake. He's looking for something, as they've already found Dirty Dan here. That's the only DPS available for 3 Dans 1 Cup, and he's down.
Yep, they do get the D-Mech, but it looks like they really just want to reset here. Interesting.
Yeah, this is an odd fight. They're still waiting for Dano to reset. There we go. Dano finally goes down. But oh no, Zedekip is there too.
20 seconds.
They have time. They have Lucio. They have time. But there are a lot more ult charge available, and Freefy has the ult for the defense.
It's now down to 10 seconds, and they're not in position yet.
They have Reinhardt. He's gonna get.
But he gets
dumped onto his
everyone
face.
away.
Oh, this could be big, and the high noon's coming out. Oh, that's it. The ults are very effective there, and they will not touch a second time.
Yeah.
And the slow stagger on the point costs them.
Go ahead.
They needed to call a reset there as soon as that fight was over to get a clean second fight in, and it looked like they didn't. And you know, some bad map awareness on this first point of Anubis out of 3D1C, just like that the stagger on the Diva who was contesting the point earlier.
Yeah, I'm really unfortunate for them, as this means that all they can look for is a tie. And offensive dabs will have to see if they can show any better map awareness, better just comms, honestly.
Yeah, and this is gonna be, we're gonna need to see a much better defense here out of 3D1C, as the first time they defended this first point, it was like Hurricane Michael tearing through a wet sheet of paper. And
Tearing through my power.
yeah, press F to pay respects to Cal.
Yep. Thankfully, though, Hurricane Michael's decided not to ruin my day on a BOL day, so that's good. Otherwise, though, Hurricanes, I saw like a map of where Hurricane Michael and Hurricane Florence were both like 2 arrows pointing into North Carolina, and it was like some Bible verse that was saying like God's wrath is on all of you or something. Like,
You goddamn sinners down there playing Genji, the original sin.
True.
But here we go on the offense. Freefy over to the far. They're going to go for a pharmacy fight here, as Heron back to the Sombra. And here we go. Sword of Mace is onto this point. He's getting a lot of this tick by himself before he goes down. And now the question is, oh, it's a 1-for-1, so I think Dabs are going to probably want to fight this, as they are taking a very slow fight here. But they are slowly being picked up. Oh, they get a big D-Mech on Josh. That could end up being huge. So they need to... Freefy's actually finally fixed. They're going to fight this one out.
He's killing everyone.
They don't have the time to reset here. This is awkward.
They don't have Freefy, but they still should have a bigger advantage. Josh thankfully does get his mech.
And there won't be a mech. They're in much better position to touch than the last rounds.
Yep. Zenyatta's slowly walking his way on over too. I would have... Oh wait, they already have a Lucio.
10 seconds. Who can find who? These health bars are all very high as the drop is coming down. The dabs are on the point. The Ryans have charged into each other, but Cruise Master gets popped first. This is the start. Now Heron down as well. This could be it. Freefy has some justice, and this is going to be it. This is 4 kills no deaths for the offense. All dabs, no blabs. They've lost them back, but they're going to lose a lot more than that, and they won't. All dabs, no blab. Take Anubis.
Yep. So it was really just clutch out a free fee to get all those picks on the very back end of it.
Play of the game.
Speaking of free fee, it's going to be McCree here with the round 3 ending Deadeye, as he was the only person with the ult available just a few seconds prior to this point. There's Hammer Down came through on a Spagudu there, and bam, they hold and win Anubis off it.
Yeah. Just shows how important it is to be able to reset fast. As they didn't, the offense out of the 3 Dans just couldn't, they couldn't even contest because they were dying with around 20 seconds to go. So, fortunate for them. But it was a really close map, and I know 2CP is kind of a meme in that way where it can be really close, but I think these two teams are much closer than, like, in terms of all of the teams, these two teams are very close. It kind of goes in like 3 tiers, I'd say, with Mad Cow and Bench being high up there.
Yeah, Mad Cow, Bench, and Casting Couch in the top tier, these two teams, and then Walby maybe down at the bottom. I would definitely agree.
Definitely 100% Casting Couch #1.
I mean, we've got the best Doomfist in the league.
True. There's no other that can compare, to be honest. What? Have UTech and TV Junkie Doomfist 1v1. Easy peasy. UTech won't lose. Let's go. We'll get a short break. Oh.
I am excited for King of the Hill, but not as excited as I am for 2 weeks from now when we finally get to play Busan.
The map that kind of confusing a lot of people, I think. They're not exactly, at least it confuses me. I'm not exactly sure what everyone's going to want to run. There seems to be a lot of viable strategies on the different points.
There should be a lot of opportunities for these teams to have some ingenuity of their own.
Yeah, I wonder if how much of it will just be like people just wanting to run goats at all times, and how much people just want to run dive, or like, I don't know, anything comfort. It might, honestly, for the BOL, it wouldn't surprise me if it just became everyone running comfort instead of trying to run some kind of team comps. And it looks like people are readying up.
Yeah, just double checking to make sure these teams are ready. We had a bio break and then some TeamSpeak issues.
Yep, both teams are ready.
Alright. On to Ilios.
Yep, very, very fun map. I enjoy all the control, not control points, King of the Hill.
Yeah, I think that's fairly normal. It's just a pretty superior map type, and we are on to what is my favorite of the 3 Ilios maps, Lighthouse, to start things up.
I'd say it's the most balanced of the 3, for sure. Got some high ground, got a little bit of close range in that, especially in that point. Very just all around good map. Okay, what are the chances we get to see a Wrecking Ball here?
I think decent. I think if any team is going to run it, would be one of these two teams. Josh Danko has been somewhat on the Wrecking Ball hype, and Senpai and Freefy, they love dicking around. So I think this is going to happen.
They only have one support, so it's feeling less and less likely.
They'll swap Freefy over.
You think?
I don't know, dude. You can only spend so long talking about how you always wanted to be a support man.
True.
So they are really cutting this down to the wire. Maybe. Oh no, okay. Senpai's gonna play Moira. Alright, so last minute sword back over that Doomfist. Meanwhile, we see some pretty standard stuff out of the 3 Dans 1 Cup. They've got the Pharah, they've got the McCree.
Dive.
Both these teams making their way forward.
Gotta watch and see if they can dive on someone as the Winston and D.Va do both go onto the McCree.
Yeah, Josh Danko and Cruz putting out so much pressure, but they don't find the kill, and they've lost Dano in the process. Now everyone's making their way towards this point. There are already 2 kills in favor of ADNB. They will probably be able to flip this. As now Josh Danko's down. Dirty Dan down. Point captured, ADNB.
Lone pharmacy in the sky as they go down to their deaths. Just a bit split, and Cruz and Josh couldn't kill Freefy, who was just getting double pocketed by Senpai and Wolf. Huh.
Yes, we'll see what Freefy can do as he is trying to keep Heron out of the sky all by his lonesome.
Oh,
As, there's a pick on Sortimace. Dano from downtown to Mighty Wolf down as well. This actually should be great for 3D1C as they're jumping in. They've already gotten 3 with the McCree down. This Heron is finding some easy damage from the side here, and that is going to be a point flipping the other way.
Yeah, and they don't have to use any ults for it, which is just huge. They're gonna have the barrage. They're gonna have Josh Danko's ulti. So here it goes. Sword
Close
getting
on the
picked out
Deadeye
early.
as well, as this is honestly a pretty good point for Deadeye. There's some nice angles McCree can kind of hide at, as both the Deadeyes are going to end up being available by the time the spike breaks out.
Yeah. A little bit awkward as
Ooh.
Dano picks off Freefy.
Yeah, Stager coming through. Actually, probably a lot of Stagers coming through, as there are some members ADNB pretty far forward here, and that's going to turn into a lot of ult charge going the way of
The Mighty
defense.
Wolf decides to just go on and die on point, force them to kill him as fast as possible.
Yeah, explosive next fight as we are sitting on 9 ults across the board. A few more coming close.
Yeah. Gonna be 10 with the Mighty Wolf gets his ulti. Sword and Mace not getting anything out of this Doomfist again.
Yeah, here we go. Josh Danko, not a patient man as he wants to lead in forward, but now Heron up here with the Rocket Barrage and finds just Sortimace. Now High Noon coming out of Freefy. But this is, he finds 2, and this could be huge to actually make that 3. As now there are a bunch of members from both sides dead, rushing towards this point. We enter phase 2. Your Pendrai keeping his mech here, and this is looking good for ADNB, and yeah, they're gonna take this point by the balls.
So the whole of all of the Dans were just so confident that Josh Danko is gonna DM it, and Freefy literally completely waited out the full thing of the DM. If this was old D.Va, that wouldn't have happened. But instead, he gets a 2K behind it, and people just were in bad positions. And
Yeah, now
Josh
we're in
couldn't
one
block
fight
it.
territory, and all devs no blab. They held on to some big ults there. They're close on a Doomfist slam. They have 3 others available. Watch Spagooter. This is probably the most important one right now, is if he can find a huge hammer down, he can win this round. And Sortimace goes down.
Not again.
They've got time to wait him out, but they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to take the 1 clean fight here, but it doesn't look like they're going to. They're going for the 5 versus 6. They do not have the patience in it. They do force a transcendence out of Dano, but he does not manage to save Josh Danko's life with it. A huge boop from the Mighty Wolf there. And now Spagooter goes down. Oh, man! D.Va coming through onto this point. This might find, yeah, it does find Zedekis, as this is a very, very chaotic fight onto this point here. There's all devs, no flab. They have a slight man advantage. High Noon coming out of Dirty Dan. He finds 1. Meteor Strike. Oh!
Yeah. They've got to win this fight too, as the Fair ulti comes out, trying to finish it
Oh,
off.
that's so big. That might be what they needed. Freefy makes his way back out of this point. He wants to
Wait!
Oh, he's not High Noon, but no, he doesn't find anybody. 3 1 cup clutch this fight out. They flip the point, and now they are in 1 fight territory.
Yeah, maybe Freefy a little bit overhypey with that ulti, but you can't really blame him. McCree ulti isn't that easy to hit anyway. For trying. There was only 2 people there, so if he could have just like somehow got another miracle one, been amazed.
1 fight territory, and Josh Danko, by the way, has not made it back to this point yet. He is just coming in. He's gonna be shooting an ult from downtown most likely, as all dabs no blabs. They only need a little bit more percentage to flip this point over. As here we go, Josh Danko shoots it right into the doorway. A very hard one.
What?
And 2 of them do not. Josh Danko always comes up big with that D.Va bomb. Is it going to be enough? He's lost 2, but his team has gotten more. They get the D-Mech out of your Pendra, and Freefy one last time trying to come up big, but he will not be able to. It looks like 3 Cup are going to take this as the Lucio goes down. That's overtime ticking away. Sortimace not going to be able to touch. And 3D1C lead Ilios 1-0.
How did... I don't even know how Josh Denko got those 2 kills. Does it look like he was trying to throw his mech into the point and it just like got caught on it?
He wasn't trying to throw it into the point. That was intentional. He wanted it stuck in the doorway there at that exact spot because it would hit people inside the point but also outside the point. There were very small windows where it could be dodged from, and that's just one of those brilliant diva bombs that Josh Danko is the only player in this league that knows how to find, and he finds them every time.
Yeah, he is quite insane with these diva bombs. He just, I don't think there's any other player who really compares.
Every time
I
watch Josh toss out a bomb, I go, holy shit, why had I never thought of that before? I mean, almost every single ult he tosses out. It's just, he knows these bombs so well. It's not a big play ult, unless it's Josh.
Yeah, for sure. And you don't see it often, but, you don't see it often out of divas, but if it's Josh, you definitely gotta be wary of it if you're the enemy team.
Yeah, but here we go. Next round here, Free Fee over to the Widowmaker, gonna be trying to take out Heron himself. As this point's about to unlock him, this fight's kind of breaking out to the side here. Free Fee does get the first pick. And make that 2 for ADNB. They should get the initial capture here.
Oof. Sword gets some final blows there as he cleans up the rest of the team. Unfortunately, this is probably the map that Dabs least wanted, or Dabs, freaking, Dans. The Dabs and Dans, man.
Confusing stuff.
Yeah,
Heron not willing to play the Spara into the Widow, and I don't blame him. So he's over to the Sombra again. As, I mean, they have some decent answers for Widowmaker. They have the dive tanks. Now Sombra's going to give him some extra pressure up there as Heron is making his way behind the Dabs. The Dan's getting ready to take their charge here. Everyone's meeting up in the middle. Now Heron going for some hacks in the background. Putting some nice damage into the Mighty Wolf. He's really forcing Wolf back as both these healers are very low, but Heron goes down in the process. Oh.
Yep. As a Sombra player, the most important part about Sombra is knowing your limits and knowing when you gotta get the heck out of there. And if you die to it, if you die from it before you can translocate back, that just screws over your team and you're just stuck feeding. There's a nice hack on the Wolf, but since he couldn't kill him, it just didn't matter.
So here we go. Both the support ults available for both of these teams.
Yep, and Mercy's in his... The Mercy ties first.
Yeah, Zed down before he can Valk, and his team probably has to just give this one. Although they do get a D-back onto your pen dry. So we'll see as this... It looks like these teams are content to fight now. Stormmace goes down. I think this is a 4 versus 4. As the Dans are kind of making their way back towards the point. They don't have Zed, but he's going to be close. Remember, he'll come in with a Valkyrie. So here we go. Transcendence comes out. The Dans are committed to winning this one. There's a Resident Dirty Dan in the background as well. So now Zed coming in. Should be Valkying any second now. And this could actually go all right for the Dans. As the EMP coming out, Zed managing to hold on to the Valkyrie. As the Dabs are being torn apart here. That's a point flipped.
Yeah. One thing they do say is, if you're playing Zenyatta into Sombra, you're pretty much just gonna die every single time. Unless you have a 2000 IQ brain. Spagooter does actually charge Josh all the way back. Forces his ulti out.
Gosh, Danko chucks that bomb into downtown, and then maybe that was a little too gutsy.
It's Caster's curse. You gotta throw one bad one.
Playing the casters.
Yeah. Thankfully for them, the offense is not gonna... The red side is not going to have that many ults, but they will have this Diva Bomb.
Yeah, Diva Bomb going to go a little too far, but Zedicus once again picked early. Stormmace comes through clutch again, and that's no Valk used. Could be a disaster here. As 3 Dans being torn apart here. They needed that Valkyrie.
Yeah, and it's at 90%. It's almost to the point where the Dans can't contest again. Dirty Dans just walking his way over, but dies. Zed's going to have to touch.
Yeah, he will be able to, but I mean that's
nice.
just it doesn't really accomplish a whole lot. As the tanks do make it on. Spagooter, I think just whipped the hammer there, and now there's a Transcendence on the point. This is good.
They're winning this.
Is what in the actual fuck? They've got both of the opposing healers down. Now can Stormmace come through? Can he slam somebody into a wall? He cannot. 3 Spagooter down. As there we go, some kills finally come through. Will this Meteor Strike find a few? As he's looking for the damage, does not get any kills, and I can't believe this. They're gonna flip the point back.
They flipped it. That's crazy.
Get the D back onto your pen drive.
Off of the amount of staggers they had too going into that, that looked horrid, but Zed swapping to Lucio. Looked like they just got all the people back, and the picks on Wolf and Senpai were huge.
Yeah, now it is a free heal comp coming out as Freefy swapped over to Brigetti. We'll see. Can he drop the spaghetti? Aaron in the background finds one, finds two, and
Picks
there we go.
two.
Sombra is huge. And now that's
And
going
she
to
has
one-point
ulti.
territory. They're going for some backbreakers. Here we go. EMP comes through. Diva Bomb comes through. Heron died, but it was probably worth as his team is mopping this one up, and now it's going to be a very difficult last fight. Oh, can they pick up somebody? Wolf? Oh, he was so low. Only 20%, and now Spagooter gets staggered with a hammer down available. This is going to be a very difficult entry for the Dabs.
I think they might have overcommitted though, as they already had 2 picks when Heron ultied there, and then they also spent Josh Denko and Cruisemaster's ult, so maybe a little bit of overcommitment. We'll have to see if the red side can put ultis through. They will start off with the Mercy.
Yes, smart Valk got into money. Oh, but he's low and he gets picked out of the
He's
side.
dead!
Dano! He's not hitting grenades, he's clicking heads! Huge from Dano, that's a Valkyrie unavailable. Senpai buy time with this Transcendence, but both. No, Cruz! He's 1 for 1, but there are no healers available for the Dabs, I believe. Diva Bomb drops and finds Zed, was not able to speed out those ones. Spagooter very low on this point. Dano, oh my god, this is so clutch.
Yep. Deno had ulti too. This is so unfortunate for them. This is his last fight. You have to use everything to try to win this. As Josh Denko does manage to find Senpai.
Yeah, the Dab looking like the spawn advantage is coming through as they are forcing the Dans back. Zed and Dirty Dan gonna touch. Heron coming through the side. Heron is really close to an ADNB. Heron at 97. He needs to find this. He needs to find some shots, but he had a translocate out. I think he has the ult available. And there we go. Does finally find it, but that might have been too little too late. As he's just trying to buy time for Zedekis, but the point is flipped.
The
Dano
Lucio!
has the Boostio here. Boostio needs the play of his life as Josh Denko once again close to it all. It's coming
What?
through. Can he get blocked? It finds
gets
one,
one.
but he needed more. No, found 2. This is
this
so
winnable?
tight.
Oh, but it's just Josh Denko on Mini Diva now. He might not be able to do it as it finally goes the Dab's way.
Oh man, an insane round on Ruins here, but that's gonna force Ilios to map 3.
Woo!
And this is why everyone likes King of the Hill best.
Yeah, just close matches like those. There were so many small things that just could have turned it. Zed's Mercy, if he hadn't gotten picked so often with that Valk, they might have just been able to hold it longer and they wouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. So it's just little things. I think any of those players from Dan's could have said, I could have just done this small thing better, and they would have won that map. But now we're on well, and we'll see double Pharaohs.
Yeah, double Pharaohs, no surprise.
Yep. The match
We're
between.
gonna go for some slurp of his own with the Orisa there.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more double Pharaoh, honestly, as Freefy's generally been a pretty heavy Pharaoh player.
Yeah, as the tanks for the Dan are very deep here. As,
They do
are
find
finding kills,
Spagooter.
though, but this maybe wasn't worth this. This is a crazy split fight here. I have no clue who has the advantage right now. The Mighty Wolf does get a big res off though, and that might be the ultimate deciding factor. Is yeah, it looks like the Dabs are going to end up capturing this point first.
Yep. After a long while of skirmishes, they managed to do it, and Dano gonna be swapping off the Ana onto the Zen, try to put a little bit more pressure on the Pharmacy. Gonna be a lot more susceptible to Doomfist though, now.
As opportunity for Sword to come through, huge. He already met Zed's bitch in 1 round. Can he do the same thing to Dano?
There it goes.
Cast their curse. Zed, I'm so sorry. But Dano apparently could handle the sword himself, but still give no heals essentially available. Just one little Harmony Orb. That is not enough to top off a team.
Oh.
But Heron does pick out Freefy, and maybe with
Wolf
Zed
too?
spawning, this could be
Hey,
a
he
good
got
by
him.
Heron looking for the ult. He puts out some very good damage here. And I think we're going to see the Dans try to flip this point, and they should be
They
able
got
to.
it. Yeah, it's just gonna be Sword and Mace on his lonesome, but can't do the 1v5 as my voice cracks. But you know what didn't crack this team? Under pressure.
Yeah, but there is a lot of ult charge available here. Both these teams revving up for a very explosive fight. And this is not Anubis anymore. These teams, no hesitation to press that Q.
We'll have to watch who can get the better ones as Danko.
Looking
Get the
for it,
thing.
he does find Sword. Zedekis got to be very happy to see that one. Yes, this is a very slow fight now. The other D.Va ult coming through goes nice and deep, does not find anybody. As this is a very awkward fight. Oh, Freefy does pick Carrot out of the sky though. That could be huge.
Yep, as he will be both of them without their mercy, and Heron loses the duel.
Both these mercies finally valid, but Freefy in the back line finds some nice damage. It took out Dan before he can Transcendence, and that is going to be it. Point is going to flip. It's just going to take a second here. But it's back to the Dabs.
Yep, about 50-50 to both teams, with Dabs having the advantage now. See if they can keep hold of it. They did use a lot of ultis there. They're going to have Senpai's Lucio the beat compared to the 4 ults from the Dans, so...
Yeah, we're going to need to see a huge beat out of Senpai. Show me what a GM beat looks like.
Oh.
As Hare's going to show me what some GM headshots look like closer. Big aim, Farah coming through. That's Pharmacy eliminated. They don't need these ults to flip the point, and this could be a disaster for the Dabs.
Yep, Danho will get picked on the end fight of that, but thankfully for them, they get about 30%.
Yeah, and I mean, this is very close to one fight territory. It has to be very fast for this to be 2 fights. And like you said, none of those ults were required there. Josh Danko, he's very close to a D.Va bomb. He's going to look for picks. He wants to stagger this in, make it a guaranteed 1 fight scenario. Although with how long this entry is taken, it's pretty much going to be 1 fight regardless. All these ults need to come through. Zed much closer to a Valkyrie than the Mighty Wolf is. That could be a factor as this plays on. As Zed at 86. Here we go. Josh Danko wants to end this fight before it can even start.
And he kills Senpai
Senpai.
with the
You
Lucio
can't have a
boost.
DM Lucio ult if you're dead.
He finds a second. This is huge as Dano uses his Transcendence, but it looks like they're going to be in 1 fight territory. 90%.
He has his ult available, but he has to find something just ginormous here. As Senpai is coming through, they have to touch this point. They have to touch this point.
The Mighty Wolf is caught out.
Freefy, you gotta stop playing the sky, my friend. You gotta. Okay, they do touch, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. They've already lost 2. Freefy looking for the play of his life, but he only finds the Zedekis. Rependrai tossing out a D.Va bomb
Into the well.
Oh, that was no Josh Danko. As now Heron mopping things up with a barrage of his own, just for good measure. But this looks like it's going to be GG. The Dans come through clutch, and they win Ilios to tie up this series.
And they really just had the better skirmishing in that map. They showed a little bit better just all-around gameplay, and specifically Josh Danko's D.Va.
Yeah, Josh Danko was a beast on Ilios here, and it's going to be, here it is, look at
Right
that,
into the...
cool, calculated, there is nowhere to run, there is nowhere to hide, Sword of Mason Senpai going down, and let's finish it off with a boom.
He says hello. What he really means is goodbye.
And now, we have the match tied up, we're going to head into a very exciting Gibraltar.
Oh man. And you don't get to see these too often. Like I said before this map, these 2 teams I believe are very close. They both have their strengths, and I want to see Freefy and Senpai both DPSing, please.
Yeah, I don't know. This Sword of Mace on the Doomfist experiment is... It's going well. Like, it went well in Ilios. The Doomfist, like, in a vacuum. But you just... You know you need Freefy and Senpai popping off to win games.
Yeah, and it just feels like they're not playing to their full strength, which is sad. I mean, like, even if they wanted Sword just to be playing Doomfist, put Freefy on the secondary support, put him on the Brig again, because that's what they were doing before and it was working out. And Senpai is just a much better hit scan player, so it doesn't make sense to me to put Freefy on Senpai's one trick in McCree. So, personally, but obviously Gibraltar, a much different beast, a lot of Widowmaker gameplay. I don't think we'll be seeing... It's unlikely to see Dirty Dan play too much Widow, but I expect to see some Widow out of either Senpai or Freefy. Who knows, honestly, at this point. We do get a quick breather from that thrilling map. Man.
Yeah, we've earned a second to catch our breath.
Yeah. It really makes me smile to see like good Overwatch and huge plays from teams. There's a lot of moments.
And it's been an insanely exciting first two maps. I mean, I know we were talking about the potential playoff implications before this match began, but these are two teams where it's a pretty reasonable path to see them play in the playoffs. If this is the quality of play we're going to get when these two teams go at it, I would love to see a best of 5 between these two teams.
For sure. And do you know, is the finals gonna be a best of 7 or is it best of 5?
No, it's gonna be best of 5 the whole way.
Best of 5. Okay. I do know that the map picks will be different, so everyone's forced to have to play 2CP. That kind of actually makes me happy. It's kind of gets more bland when everyone is only playing
the same 4 maps.
The same 4 maps, like King's Row. I love the map, but it's less fun as a spectating sport.
Yeah, to see the pools a little deeper, and it's the only way we're ever going to see people play 2CP in the playoffs, I think. And that's a shame, because some of these teams are legitimately good at 2CP. They're just scared to actually commit to playing it a lot of the time.
Yeah, or they just don't like it. Like, you might be good at it, but it doesn't mean
and the thing is,
it's
no
fun.
matter how good you are, 1% of your team will just be going, no, dude, I don't want to do 2CP. Don't pick, don't. I really don't want to.
For sure.
Well, and whoever that guy is, fuck you. Because unless you 3-0, you're playing 2CP in the playoffs.
Yep. Unfortunately for them, but I'm just excited and all to see it happen. But first, we're gonna be seeing some Gibraltar, and we'll be seeing D-Dabs on the offense. Start this out. Like just standard stuff all around. Cruise Master preferring the Winston, with Josh on the Diva. The only thing that's been swapping early is Dano between Ana and Zenyatta. I think they might prefer Zenyatta if there's a Pharah specifically. But otherwise, it looks like they've just been preferring the Ana. It's Dano. Definitely his best pick. So we'll see if he can come big.
On the other side, Bastion, Sombra. Bastion, not Sombra, coming through. As
wait.
Oh, they're
okay. Here's the thing, and they are gonna be doing what we asked and still playing free fear DPS.
Yes, and Sword over to the Ana, first time off the Doomfist like all night, I believe. But this Bastion should be very effective. There is, Josh is gonna have to be huge on shutting out this Bastion. As here it goes up and goes down.
Yep, that purple is huge though.
Oh no! And now Dan's pulled the trigger.
Yep, we'll have to see if they can contest as the lonely Reinhardt Spagooter gets to 1v1 Dano and does kill him, so.
But there are a lot of members of the opposing team straight above this cart as now Cruise Master is trying to make his way onto it. This is, this happens on Gibraltar a lot. Awkward contests on this first point. Now this should turn into some staggers potentially. As it looks like the Dans, they want to fight this while it's still in the low ground. Aaron and Josh are putting out a lot of pressure. No one can get close to Zedekiss, but Freefy is reestablished on the ground. Just gonna start moving forward. That's a huge D-Mech on a Josh Danko now, as Freefy is back on the cart.
Yep, Josh Danko not gonna be able to do anything against this Bastion. They honestly should swap Heron off the Pharah and onto something like a Sombra.
Yeah, as they want to go deep here. They want to get some long spawns. Spagooter is in enemy territory, but it was probably worth as he is forced to back.
Yep, and just making room for Senpai on the Widowmaker 2 to get the picks, like onto Zed, onto Dirty Dan.
There we go, huge staggers coming through, and a lot of ult charge over to the Dabs now. The big one being Bastion. I imagine we're going to see a Nano Bastion come out of this next fight.
And that's real scary. We've seen a lot of Nano Bastions.
Yeah, they don't have a defensive ult that can counter it. I mean, if he clicks you, you're going to die here. As Josh Danko,
I think he was forced to do that.
Fingers, but I think that was actually a fat finger.
I think he was forced. And here comes the Nano.
Yeah, Free feet shredding through the enemy team. Heron does find a kill on a senpai, but I don't think it's gonna matter.
Oh, wait!
No, Heron's looking for a pick, and actually he does find some good damage with this barrage. And now maybe this is winnable for the dance. But they gotta be careful not to step off this cart, as it's just a baby diva and his Dedicus, and that probably won't be enough to hold this point, as now Senpai has made his way back in downtown. And that is point 2 captured. Now gonna be some rough staggers coming through here. Dano goes down.
If Josh could have remech there, I think they possibly could have held, but fortunately for them, it doesn't work out. Heron will swap off the Pharah onto the Sombra. Usually, but the Dabs still have 4 ultis.
Yeah, very major ult advantage here. Is it's just a Nano and a Hanzo ult with nothing to combo it into.
Watch Swagooter on this Reinhardt, as there's no opposing shield really to stop them.
There we go, Nano Diva coming through, but he gets slapped. Josh Dango now finding a lot of effectiveness here, but it was actually, no, it was worth. He found Freaky, that is a lot of effectiveness. But your pen dry on the other side, nice hammer, Diva bomb combo as the Dragon's coming through onto the cart, doesn't find anybody. This cart is still moving. Freaky able to get this cart moving. Now we're almost back to the spawn here. Now the tanks are taking their opportunity, but Cruz goes down. Josh being demeched very fast. Heron, he does not have an EMP close yet. They did take out the Bastion, but I don't think that's going to be enough, as it's 2 healers and a Sombra trying to hold this point here. They're buying a lot of time here, but there's a big res on the Freaky. EMP did come through though, and there's going to be a chance, but no, it will not. Spagooter comes through big time. They're going to just need to finish mopping this one up.
Yeah, unfortunately the MP did not come out in time to stop Freaky, so he still got the tank mode. Right there, they did a pretty good job at first contesting the Bastion to kill him immediately, and they generally got picks on him. It's just they couldn't stop the Mercy from rezzing him every single time. And the sleeps from Sword and Mace seemed to be really huge to stop Josh from killing him quickly. And just getting enough focus on him.
Yeah, it feels like every fight went really well for the dance for the first 5 to 10 seconds, and then just turned into a disaster as things broke down.
Yeah, we didn't get to see. I would have liked to see Heron's Sombra more towards the beginning. I think he did have ulti, which is why he stayed on the Pharah, but I think it would have just worked better to at least try to swap Freaky off of the Bastion. Truth be told, he's stuck on it the whole time, and it worked out for them. They will have Freaky playing the Widowmaker this time, and Senpai on his beloved Mei. Gross, but you know.
Gross, yeah. So here we go. Do the Dans have something to match how fast of a push they just gave up?
Well, they will be running a Sombra Tracer dive. So, alright, I think my voice is going out a little bit from that Elios game.
That's what he gets. Freaky up behind the shield. Looking to just scare the Dans.
And he's going behind, trying to freeze Josh. Does force him off the high ground.
Yeah, Heron does make it up on this high ground. We're gonna have a big stairwell fight. It looks like it's Josh Danko taking some damage, but Dano and the D-Mech and the D-Diva all coming through. Is this stairwell fight going very well for the Dabs? As this cart has not moved in a bit.
Yeah. We haven't seen the same dive that we saw Cruz and Josh doing before, where they were on the same target. We can't see them going in these tiny little corridors where Reinhardt or Mei can and pop off like they just did on them. They need to go in the open and jump on them straight up. But getting picked like this won't help them.
Yeah, Freaky having some pretty free reign here.
Oh, but a nice boop. Knocks the Reinhardt.
Oh, and yeah, Gooder not able to charge back on it. We've got a 5v5 here up on the side. A nice wall to slow this fight down a bit. As the cart is moving. Here we go. Now the dive maybe coming through. or they're content to just let this cart keep pushing. I think we're going to see this fight kind of switch back down to the low ground as Diva Bomb going to be blocked by a Maywall, but this cart is officially in the low ground before everyone steps off. Senpai chasing down Zedekis. Goodbye, my friends, as both of these Mercies actually going down. There is no longer a free feed available, so that was a huge source of pressure for the Dabs. Maybe not the Dabs. Oh, Heron misses another jump. Come on, man.
Come on. This, looks like he will get the kill on Senpai, though. It's a nice purple.
Yeah, the Tracer Bomb comes through as, here we go, EMP comes through. This should be a good fight for the Dans in this low ground as Freefy's going to try to carry this fight from downtown. The Mighty Wolf, get the hell out. There should be another fight here for the Dabs, though. That cart was still a pretty decent ways out. But
this is
the
pretty
Mighty
risky.
Wolf was, ooh, big wall out of Senpai there. And here we go, Blizzard onto the cart. Gonna buy time for everyone to make their way here, but they have already lost free feed fairly early. This Blizzard didn't do a whole lot, but buy time now to Mighty Wolf down as well. Going very good for the Dans.
Yep, they just need to finally get all the picks. They will use Nano to finish it off, but this could be a huge Diva Bomb.
Yeah, it finds two, and it's the two healers. Your Pedri maybe saving this push for his team here. As now the other one coming through, Josh Danko, more of a zoning alt as Dirty Dan is tracing around. Everyone's gotta be careful to stay on this cart. We're only a half meter away, but the Mighty Wolf did make it through. He's Valk. He's buying a lot of time for this defense here.
Yep,
Free
and
Fees trying to find the damage. By the way, he's on the McCree now, not the Widowmaker. Said Valkyrie comes to an end, and it's looking like the defense is going to hold. And now we're at 45 seconds remaining as Aaron pops the EMP as his team jumping in, but they will not have a Tracer here. They will not have a Winston either as he is down. They're trying to get this pick out of Senpai. They find it, but it's a trade. There's actually a res out of the Tracer. But here we go. Spaguda comes through. Massive shatter.
Yep, and as they slowly fall one by one, you gotta question if they were just a little bit on the trigger finger. Heron saw a good ulti, but with the people down, and I don't, Cruise Master had to go in alone because Josh couldn't follow him up. It just turns out all for naught, and 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, that was very trigger happy, and now they're pushing into 3 ults, and they're barely going to even have a chance to touch before Free Fee should have access to a very easy Deadeye, but Cruise Master does make it on Heron, goes down on his entry. The Mighty Wolf is down though, but this is still going good for the defense. Free Fee is fighting a lot of shots here, and here we go. High Noon coming through, ends up just being there for the reload. There's actually a big purple coming from Dano, if there could be any focus fire here, but no, Dano goes down.
Josenko is mini Diva, doing his best. No.
Yeah, there's a ult on the card in case it's needed, but it is not. And after 2 insanely close maps, all dabs, no blab. Steamroll, watch point jumper altar. Play of the game is going to be Spaguda, who had a pretty huge map, some very big ults coming through, and it's going to be this one where he is just swinging away. I didn't see in real time how he got all these kills, and this is why, because he was just left clicking. Look at how much ult charge he gains during that one play of the game window.
It was literally a left click adventure. Better than Bastion. 10 out of 10.
Oof, Josh Danko, 4 gold medals earned. That's rough.
But I'd still be happy for them. They did play well. They did take Ilios, but
they were very close to taking 2 maps there.
Yep.
But unfortunately for them, close is not enough, and now they are pretty secure in that 4th seed. Few questions going into playoffs here. But that's going to do it for Game 2, guys, so stick around. We're going to be back in just a moment with Bench Life versus Mad Cow Disease, which I think just about everyone is pretty excited for, so stay tuned.